Mayor Litchfield,
Here.
Moya,
Here.
Commissioner Guerrero,
Here.
Commissioner Arias,
Here.
Commissioner Terry.
Yes.
Okay, under discussion items, we're gonna move item D up to the front so that we can be sure we have enough time to discuss with this. So it's discussion of the lodger's tax executive funds regarding the proposed donation to Tucumcari Public Schools. City Manager, you want to take that over?
I'll just start with saying that Commissioner Terry and I met with Mr. McKinney and Matt and Jerry regarding the lighting at the baseball fields. Due to the construction cost increase that they are having to list items as alternates, such as the lights, removal of the existing light poles and the sod turf for the fields. I have been in discussion with Mr. McKinney. My proposal was that they complete the application process and present it to the lodger's tax on November 9th and then to the commission on November 10th.
Why would they, this is coming out of the executive branch part. Why would we want to present to the lodger's tax? This is a decision that can be actually left up to the executive branch to do it.
I agree.
But at this point, I think construction's on its way, isn't it?
Yes.
And I think it's, we're looking at the possibility, how much money are they asking for? Is the first question. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's do, yeah.
Okay, so as you know, we went out to bond for $3 million a couple of years ago. We've been trying to get the land. We finally got it done. So could the construction cost on just the bit of the construction, and keep in mind, this is without concession stands. This is just footings that these contractors bid on. It was $3,823,891.
Whoa.
Well, we put about 90,000 into all the land and the surveying, et cetera. Architects are about 250,000, so probably about 4.1 million is what it came in at. We put the lighting as an alternate. It came in at 433,000 because we knew we might run into this where we wouldn't be able to put lighting up. We also put the turf as an alternate, but we know we need turf on that field. Not artificial turf, I actually sod, come in and sod it. And the lighting demo, they wanted $51,000 just to take the lights down. But I am getting Pacheco to do that for $10,000. So we saved quite a bit there. So we're short about $1 million at this point, basically. I was approached about lodger's tax. With the school, I never really knew how all that worked or anything about lodger's tax to get that lighting up. We know that some of our games run over. We also talked about tournaments, and I also have CJ here and Mr. Johnson here to talk about some of the tournaments that Santa Rosa, I guess, has had, and a few others around us, and how many people that it's actually brought in. But lighting, we know we have to have lighting to get people to stay all night to have tournaments, because sometimes, and they can tell you, and I'll let them speak to that, sometimes you're playing games at 10 o'clock at night, or I've heard some of them playing at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Excuse me, I missed out. What's the expense of the lighting?
The lighting is $433 and $82.
And what is the request you're asking for?
Right now, we're short. And just like I was telling Mr. Lopez when he brought it to me, I said, we got to either do all or none. I said, because Title IX rules and everything with girls and boys baseball, the thing about it, we've already demolished the fields. That saved us about another $300,000 because we did it ourselves with our guys, our equipment. So that was a big savings, or it would have even been more than that. So we've been trying to shave off the dollars. Right now with Title IX and not even having a baseball field, we know we have to have a baseball field. But we also know with Title IX, we better have a girls field too, and the lighting needs to go there too. My architect actually, when I talked to him yesterday, he said, I think you're probably only going to be able to do one field. I said, that's not an option. I said, I want 2 fields there, and we will. So I'm going to come up with it somehow, and I will have 2 fields sitting there ready for lighting. So, and CJ, do you want to speak to, I know with the lodger's tax, you guys are looking for money to come in. I know CJ can add to that, Mr. Johnson can add to that.
Let me ask you a
CJ,
question.
go ahead.
What would be the minimum you would request from the larger stack for the lighting? We have some money, but not that much, you know.
It's gonna be hard for me to come up with a lot, seeing the current, what I can do
No, I
currently.
understand what you're talking about, the deficit you already have. But I'm asking, what are we looking for that you're asking the city for in contributing to the lighting?
As much as you can, and
Well,
I,
that's not a good answer. I would like a better answer.
right now, I'd like every bit of it.
Yeah, okay, we're right.
Okay.
$1 million?
No, 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 no.
Talking 433.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I'm going, $1 million?
You know, right now, we're looking at all our resources, trying to at least get the lighting up.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
No,
that's not a good question to ask when you're asking me to get builds up, because I want
No,
all.
I understand exactly, but you
Yes.
also, you have to understand that we have obligations to that funding, and we certainly look at the benefits that it can bring in
Right.
as revenue, because I know I have a house 2 blocks away from the main fields in Santa Rosa, and my God, did they get full, and they don't do them anymore, I guess, but when they were, you couldn't get down Lake Street.
Right. So right now, we're in a dilemma, because the thing about it, I'm on my last contract. I'll be gone in probably 20-some months. My plan is to have those fields done one way or the other, concession stands, and even if I have to use some of my resources are pulled out of the hat, we can go back out to bonding, and I can sell a bond probably in February of 24 is my first bond that I can sell for about 1.5 million. The thing about too, with that price, you have to remember this, we already bought the buildings. I bought the buildings out of my general op a year ago,
Okay.
and I still can't get them up. So, I mean, we've been doing everything that we can, trying to get all the resources. We bought a John Deere tractor out of general op and a mower for that field at how much?
Looking at about maybe 200.
For the John Deere, not that one. It's about 50,000. It's small John
Oh,
Deere.
I know.
So
Lawnmower.
I mean, we've already been investing
Investing.
while we were trying to get the property in our name without using bond money, because we knew it was gonna come in high from what the architects were telling us. So I've been cutting corners and trying to get things in, so
Are you gonna be able to get anything on capital outlay this year from the legislature?
will I be able to get anything from legislatures?
Capital outlay.
Capital outlay.
They won't give for fields.
Oh, no?
No, not for sporting facilities, no.
Oh, they said they have a lot of money.
They have a lot of money, but they won't do it. What they're doing is they're putting it in the PSCLC and building that budget up, and what they're going to do with that money, Ralph, they're going to add more schools to the list. Used to have to be in the bottom 50 or whatever. They're gonna make it the bottom 75 or 100. So they're looking at that to be able to do more schools. But they will not give money on sporting facilities.
Right.
So,
So, Mr. McKinney, I do see why you guys listed it as an alternate item, but I don't see that as an alternate item at all. So I think at this point, I think we would need to see what number you think you need to bring it back to the lodgers tax. Have them give them get their opinion from them and bring it back to us.
And the reason why I said to go to the lodge tax, I know that the executive doesn't have to go,
That's correct.
That's been our practice.
but that's been the practice.
It is sometimes, but sometimes when you're doing a project this big, and also we're doing two entities. We're doing two entities that are serving the community at the same time. Sometimes we look at it based on what's in the best interest of the community.
Right.
The larger stack is focused more on the promotional part, and this is coming out of the executive part. So that's what I want to see, more or less, that we no longer are paying the convention center, so that we have a little surplus if you look at the budget here. There's a member from the larger stack, Mr. Ben Norton.
Ben Norris, yes,
I said it right. Maybe you can give us a little insight, since you're one of the members of the larger stack. Would you prefer for us to send it back? Or would you prefer for the executive to take care of
well-
it, since we have to go forward with it?
I don't know if I legally can answer that, because I'm just.
No, but in your opinion?
We have Michael here, but, in my opinion, I thought it was gonna be on last agenda. I guess administration didn't think it should have been on last agenda. In my opinion, for this much that they're asking, y'all have to answer to the people. The larger tax don't answer to the people.
That's correct. And it's entrusted. in our-
Okay, let's let him talk.
But that's my opinion. But I can't answer for the other four.
Madam
But,
Mayor.
but I think it's pretty complicated for a advisory board to do that. The people voted for y'all to make these hard decisions.
Yes, they did.
So,
Okay, what,
And I'd like CJ to get up and.
okay, wait
and-
just a minute. Okay, Mike.
That it was presented to the Lodgers Tax Board. They were briefed on it. Right?
we were by, Paula, Miss Paula.
Right, and you attended the meeting, and there was no vote on it, but there was no opposition.
Right, and there, one person said that, and it wasn't me, anything for the kids that he or she would vote for in a heartbeat, and I think one that might have been in India or something I don't know.
I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, there was no opposition. I mean, the money is there. We have 800, just to be transparent, $809,000.
Yeah, but we don't do that.
And,
Oh, I don't want that, and we're not asking, we're not asking for that.
No, I'm sorry.
in one meeting prior, the finance director said there was only 500,000. I know she said that she's speaking off the top of her head. And y'all thought that was a lot of money then. And this lodger's taxes, and there's not an application process for executive side. Also, that's one thing, there's not an application for that. That we approved of or anything.
Do we have this
Madam
listed
Mayor,
as
Yes.
signing?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, okay, Jerry.
So, excuse me, no, two. So, Madam Mayor, I just, and Commission, thank you for allowing us to be here, but this discussion started, when I was speaking with Mr. McKinney about this. Again, Mr. Moore just said it's a joint agreement. When this all process started, it started that we had options to build these fields. And the reason why we're in this situation right now is because obviously the city couldn't maintain them. And they were not urging us, but in agreement for us to take over so we can actually, outfit them properly. And so with our superintendent, he took that in consideration, kind of put it to work and see what we had to do. If those fields were properly maintained, we probably wouldn't be here right now because the school would be utilizing them. And then again, I just want you to know, we're only asking for a one-time investment. Never in the history that I know that the school has ever came to the city asking for assistance. And, this is the time that we can turn around and make Tucumcari better by jointly working together. Again, superintendent didn't say that he wanted the full amount, but again, take this in consideration. When the city needs facilities, where they at? They're asking us and we're assisting in any way. Just like the ambulance, just like the mosquito spraying, your recreational league is being, played on our football fields. We're not asking for no maintenance reimbursement. We're not asking for you guys to maintain it. We provide for that because again, at the end of the day, it's about what's best for our community, what's best for our kids, what's best for tomorrow's future. So with that being said, Mr. Oglesby, he presented some stuff to me and he did ask me if I could read it off. And so we'll just go back with Clovis. Clovis had 8 tournaments this year. 8 tournaments with a total of 359 teams. That's 15 players minimum. That's 5,385 players. Single players that attended those tournaments. That's not including their families that they bring along with them. So if they're not contributing to the lodger's tax, they're contributing to the GRT tax. And numerous times we've heard administration, we've heard commission have said that in order to make Tucumcari happen, to do potholes filling or to buy equipment, we need GRT tax. So when you're shopping at your local grocery store, you're shopping at your dollar stores, filling gas, or at your restaurants, we're getting GRT tax. So again, per statute, if we want to go back to per statute for the lodger's tax, it says the lodger's tax is supposed to be advised by the Lodgers Tax Advisory Board on promotional issues. It's the governing body to disperse that money for an executive side. So again, if we want to play by rule and by statute, let's stick to that. Let's follow our statutes and stuff. And again, this is a one-time investment for a long-term return. When you have a nice state-of-the-art facility next to the convention center, how great would that be? It'd be great. Again, I just want to remind you, we have the option to be able to build these fields behind Mountain View Schools with 13 acres of land that we've had with water rights. But again, our superintendent, the previous board that was there, urged to have this built at the city complex here to be a joint group. You guys are gonna be utilizing this, not only the schools. Mr. McKinney has stood in front of you guys and said, this is gonna be a joint effort. You guys just gotta use a facility use form, and guess what? Your leagues are gonna be able to utilize that as well. So again, we're asking for this. It's one time. If we can't get it done now, that doesn't mean we're not gonna get it done. It's just we want to get it done now, because then we have to do a change order, then we gotta disturb more ground to be able to get it done later. So again, this lodger's tax is not the citizens' money, it's the tourism dollar. So if we put into facilities like it's designed for, I mean, it's great. So again, Mayor, thank you for your time, and the commission, thank you for listening.
And I want to remind the city too that I think most of you do know there's a covenant on that property. And I think all of you are aware of that covenant.
Yeah.
It's to be used for the youth of Tucson.
Right.
Under the Jennings agreement, yeah, that we have.
Yes.
Okay,
And
Mr. McKinney, I'm going back to Ralph's question. What's your timeline on this?
Right now, we have broke everything down, and as soon as I pull the trigger, which I need to pull the trigger pretty quick, because we don't have a baseball field right now for kids to play on when season start, Mr. Johnson. They start practicing for February. February, is that when you guys start? Yeah.
So the reason I asked that, not to discuss, we have to make a decision in an open meeting and be on an agenda. So that's why I'm asking that, Paula. I think I would agree that we go ahead and get it on the agenda as soon as possible.
Definitely. And this is not the first time that the city has done a joint venture with the schools. We
Correct.
did the auditorium for the city of Tucumcari back in 1988. We bought the property at that time for $125,000, donated it to the school so they could build an auditorium, and it's been very, very probable as far as our students being able to utilize it. So this is not the first time we've ever done this.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I think this will be a good investment, because I have seen the ball field pay in Santa Rosa, and the money does trickle in.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other questions?
Any other questions before we?
I just want to make a comment. This money has to be spent within 2 years. We were
That's
taught
correct.
Okay.
we were told it was supposed to be 3 years, and so it's not like the larger tax is not a savings account for other projects that's not shovel ready.
Yeah, the
Thank you very
statute on it
Thank you.
is we have to spend it within 2 years that we brought it in.
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna get on
All
it
right,
right away.
because we know y'all need to
Thank
go
you,
to other
guys.
meetings. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the discussion regarding at-will personnel policy.
Okay, this was an issue that, you guys asked for me to bring. I gave you guys copies of the personnel policies. I was going to ask though that I wanted to know your guys' direction. I know that there's other issues in the personnel policy that different commissioners would like for me to address. I think that we should do it all at once and not do one section at a time. So I would propose giving us time to go over the whole personnel policy and then present it. If you, with your guys' direction on what you guys want us to do.
Actually, at this point, to be honest with you, at will is of essence, because we have a commission of essence. Because we have a commission city to run, and actually, everybody that's in the department head should be a team player together. And I have been on this council almost 6 years, maybe going on 7. And I have seen some of the department heads who has not been team players and have disrupted the governing body, the governing function of the community. So actually, I agree with you. We might need to address the other part, but I think this is already, these people are employed. We are hiring people for some of the department heads. And I think we need to address it on this meeting. It's not a problem addressing other issues that we have, but it is of essence, because if we have a department head that we have had lately, not too long ago, that was not very cooperative,
Okay,
and so I will definitely recommend that we address this issue now, not tomorrow.
Madam Mayor, and I've discussed this, and worst thing to do is go through a personnel policy. But if we're gonna do it, let's do it right, because there's other areas around that really
Yeah,
need
the whole
to
deal
do
is,
as bad as this, but let's move it up to the front burner and get it done
Right.
ASAP.
but this thing has, we have been asking for this for over 2-3 years, and they kept telling us that we didn't have it. And then they kept telling you that, they told you to your face that at will means that the whole state was at will, so why are you worrying about
I
it?
understand that, but the new sheriff in town found out where it was, when it was
It shouldn't be
changed
that
and
complicated.
why.
Yeah.
So
So
we couldn't even get a copy for like 2-3 years.
Well, but we have now, so
We're moving forward.
moving forward and let's, I
Well,
think
hold
we
on,
need to
let's
work.
put a time limit if we're gonna do this, because I'm tired of being on the
Okay, but
commission.
please quit interrupting.
Well, it seems like,
Well, let me finish what I
Go
was gonna
ahead.
say. I was gonna say, let's let our city manager get things together. Let's have a special work session. Let's put a time limit on when we're gonna do this.
Good.
Not just keep putting it off and putting it off. And let's work on the whole personnel policy, not just one or two items. So I think it all needs to be reviewed. That's my opinion.
I think you just take the old one and replace the new one with the old one and put your risk manager and H&R statutes or resolutions in that or whatever. I read them both and it's driving me crazy. But if you want my opinion right now, I can throw some things at you. All right, at will, definitely.
definitely. And I think we procrastinated long, because I've been here 7 years, being asking for this, being wanting the at will. We have problems with personnel, department head, and what can they do? We can do nothing.
Right, so we agree with you on that.
Yeah, and so, and I get tired of being procrastinated, I get tired of
Okay.
people fudging and not addressing. We were a commission, a governing body, we should address issues, not procrastinate. So we didn't
I
time
would
limit.
like-
I think we're all in agreement
Something
with that.
straightened out on holidays. Holidays are specified in the personnel.
Yes.
But I understand in December of every year,
We have-
you designate the new policies. So we can list some holidays, but then put a disclaimer, the city commission and can change dates or whatever.
Right.
On the holidays, there's some, Christmas,
Thank you.
Independence Day, and Veterans Day all come on a certain date and not a Monday,
Right.
3 or 4 day holiday. That's a big thing with me. I would like to see Easter as a holiday. I know it comes on Sunday all the time. For the next thing I want to see done, the new policy did away with time and a half for needed personnel working the holiday. And I don't think it's right to have an employee have to work on Easter or Christmas, family holidays, and not be reimbursed. And I think that's my big pet peeves on the,
Okay.
Okay.
Well, and what kind of time is the commission gonna put?
Well, when can we get together and start working on this?
I'll start, I have a department head meeting on the 17th. I'll have it on my agenda and start working on it that day.
Okay.
And how long do you think it'll be before we have reacted? Because this, this has been a problem, we've seen that 7 years.
Well, let's go like 2 weeks.
You think within 2 weeks you'll have the policies rewritten?
Well, if we meet on, if you have it done on the 17th,
No, I'm just starting.
you're
my
starting on the
On the
17th. Okay,
Paul, it sounds like you're willing to rewrite the policy,
Right.
but we need to give you that time to work it out. You're gonna need more than 2 weeks. You're gonna
Right,
need more than a
right,
month.
okay.
Yeah.
all right, I'll say 2 weeks, yeah.
Paula,
No, I'm
first
just-
week in November, first meeting in November?
Can I go 60 days?
No, ma'am.
No. No, really, this is, we already got 7 years.
Well, but it's not-
November.
60 days would be,
So it's 60 more days to get it right.
right.
And actually, if you look at it, you just revamped it. You already have a lot
First of
of
December.
All right,
If you need 6, yeah.
1st of December.
1st of December.
That'd be good.
Is that a
First meeting-
negotiation? Does that work?
First meeting in December.
Mhm.
Okay. We can do that.
Thank you.
And we might surprise you, but don't hold your breath.
Okay. Next is a discussion regarding the municipal court and appointment of a judge.
Okay, I need to correct something that I had previously told you guys. I had told you that the population limits for municipal court was 5,000. Our attorney, Jared Major, found that in 2019, it was changed to a population of 10,000. So even though that is still one of an option to us about closing the court, I would recommend going forward and appointing a municipal judge. I believe that it's in the best interest, in our best interest. First, out of 33 counties in the state of New Mexico, there's 105 municipalities. There are a total of 81 municipal courts.
Okay.
I feel that if we put this on magistrate court, we'll be at the bottom of taking care of our ordinances. And I don't think it would be good for our code enforcement and our animal control. So I would like to keep the court and just move forward with it. The interview is scheduled, do you have another interview scheduled tomorrow, on the 14th?
At 3.
And then maybe on the 24th, we could have it on the agenda,
Okay,
and that quick.
sounds good.
I agree.
Is that okay?
Okay, sounds good. Everybody?
Yeah.
Everybody agree with that? Okay. All right. Next is discussion regarding changing commission meeting dates and times.
Okay, this is something that I'm proposing, and I'm gonna give you a couple of reasons why. Come on, like. I feel like changing the time would be beneficial for staff productivity and employee participation. And also, it would give staff the ability to be more active in family or school activities. And I'm gonna give you guys an example. I have a daughter that plays volleyball. Her games are on Thursdays. The Thursdays that I don't have commission meetings, I do attend her games, but I can't on the nights with commission meetings. I go to her games, and if you don't want to change the date or the time, then I would suggest maybe moving it to Mondays. There's no Little League. It's not just kids, it's grandkids. With the city leagues, with the school games, they're usually Tuesday, Thursdays, So if you don't want to move the time, if you want to still have them in the evenings at 5 and 6 o'clock, that works for me. But I would suggest moving it to a Monday. I would suggest Monday. And if moving the times, I have spoken to the radio to see, because I thought it was important because we're aired on our meetings. And they didn't have an issue with moving it to 10 o'clock in the morning. And I just feel that would give staff enough time in the afternoons for us to complete what we need to get done, that we come out of the meeting needing to do. We could get it done that same day, and it would be easier on us.
So 10 a.m. for the work session?
9 a.m. for the work session, 10 for the meeting.
I'll be honest with you, I think we ought to leave it like it is. I don't see a problem with it. Actually, your reasons might be okay, but they're really, I don't really, to me, I feel that this time was the best time that we have able to associate, since we turned them to night. We used to have them in the morning, didn't work out very well. And then we used to have them on other days, and I guess some days they have like church day, and then they have all kinds of, the school has their board meeting, the college has a board meeting on Tuesday, school Monday, and Wednesday they have church day or something. We used to have all that controversial in those days. So I really suggest we just keep it like it is. If an employee is not prepared to be at the meeting, what's the difference between Monday in the morning or Saturday or Thursday in the afternoon if they're not prepared with what they have to present? Regardless whether it's Monday in the morning or whatever, they can still come in on Thursday and start Friday with whatever we want to correct it. It's not a problem. It's a matter of what's in the best interest of the community. I think that the time that we have right now is set better for the community to attend if they choose to.
I want to add to that. I want to say, Ralph, maybe back in the days or Commissioner.
Yeah, back in the days, and they're
Back
still
in the
very
days,
effective. They-
But now there's other ways that they can participate because they can participate virtually. They don't have to be here in person.
No, they don't, but a
So I
lot of
think
them
so.
do.
Okay, let her finish.
I believe that some things have changed.
They might.
So,
Yeah, there have,
You
and
know,
I'm not gonna argue with that, but I say if it's convenient.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
3 questions.
Okay.
Did I understand you to say, suggest a Monday, but a Monday evening?
a Monday evening would be fine.
Let me ask you, then the next question is, does anybody else meet on Monday evening?
I didn't even.
School-
Yes.
The school board does.
School board does at 6,
On
Third
Mondays?
Monday.
once a month.
And Tuesdays? I like the date change, and that's why Tuesdays,
The college.
the college.
Yeah, Mesa Lands meets at 5:30 once a month on a
So
Tuesday.
you said it was the third Monday?
It's the third Monday.
So, third Monday wouldn't affect us.
Yeah, it would.
It
If
hits,
they're Monday, that's the school board meeting.
But if we kept on the
Yes,
second,
second
Oh.
and fourth.
Yeah, if we did second and fourth, okay.
And another question, I understand that you were gonna attempt to do a survey.
Yes, and I got a list of all the voters for the 5 different school districts. And what we were going to do was we were gonna call 20% of each of the districts. It's gonna end up being about 500 calls, and we haven't completed it. But I did get the listing of the
Do you have a kind of sampling, how it's going?
No. I've got it listed on a spreadsheet.
let me ask you a question.
We
You
did
haven't
right.
completed.
I was trying to look at a happy fix.
Yeah.
Because I told everybody originally that, I didn't care. Doesn't make any difference to me. I don't have a job where I have to work for a living, thank goodness. And so, but I've had a lot of people contact me.
Okay, another deal that I want to say out there. I'm asking to move the next meeting. Why?
Right.
Because we're at a meeting. When are the meetings usually? Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays.
Yes.
You know, so if it was on a Monday, even if it was on a Monday, we wouldn't have that conflict. That's another issue.
But that, they're doing it, but it comes up maybe once or twice a
Yeah.
year. Already it's come up with me, but you're right,
Yeah.
it's always on the weekends.
Yeah. But that's just another.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to hear from the other commissioners.
So would I, yes.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
with that, when do you suspect that you'll have that polling completed? We have time to make 500 phone calls?
Yeah, I would say hopefully by the 24th. I'd like to push and get it done by the 24th. That's when I'm proposing that next meeting we change the
Right.
meeting to.
Right.
So that was my thing from the beginning, is that if that sample and that survey go out, I'd really like to see that through and see the results of that. I personally wouldn't like to see the meeting day and time change, however, if that's what the constituency is asking for, then I accommodate them. But personally, I would not like to see it change.
And if they say they don't care, write it down. They
Yeah,
don't-
that was
because
one of our
I don't
deals in
wanna,
the deal.
I don't wanna have 3 say they do wanna change it and the rest say no, they don't care. Because the majority rules, they still don't care, I mean, it's okay to keep it where it is.
My only thought is in the winter, I don't like getting out at night too much. I mean, that's just me. But, I mean, I'll come to the meeting whenever it is. Unless it's the first and third Monday and I've got other priorities then, so.
And I should have checked to see
If
if there
it's-
was any conflict.
If it's the second and fourth Monday, it's not a problem. It's not a problem with me. But whenever.
I thought that was a good compromise when I thought of it. I thought of it, you know, and, somebody pointed that out to me this morning. That,
You didn't think of it?
yeah, that I didn't really think of it. I was looking for a compromise that everybody maybe would do that, because I agree with you on the volleyball 100%.
Yeah, the Mondays would be, I mean, that would be fine.
There's no church.
Right.
On Mondays.
Right.
I didn't know that the commission meetings used to be during the day.
Yeah, they don't, yeah.
Not when any of us, or when any
Yes,
of
I
you.
was there.
No, it was,
No, sir.
1988, it was still in the morning, 82, we changed it to, because of the public wanting it to take. And they
I'd
came
rather
before
have
the
it in the
commission.
morning, but
I was there, so I know that we had them in the morning, we had no attendance, the same thing.
it's hard on working people.
Yeah, it is, like him.
Right.
I can do what I want to, because I volunteer, so,
So are you elderly or old?
both.
Yeah.
I'm elderly.
I got a question.
Okay.
We've been talking about this for a while, but I thought we were gonna let the community, the districts decide, if we ever got any output of it.
I got feedback from two people. One of them to change it every morning and one of them to leave it as is. That's the only feedback I got.
And let me ask the Paula a question here. Why did you put it in the agenda if you hadn't completed the survey? That's
Well,
interesting.
because I
Why,
had
why,
planned-
why would it come? I hadn't heard about it until now.
I had planned on having the survey done, but the way these 2 weeks have gone there, it was just.
Yeah, but put it on a work session where you don't have the results yet.
Well, I
That makes
just
sense.
wanted to talk about it.
Right.
Because
It was
I
better
had,
if we
I had tried to get the survey completed.
Okay.
It didn't happen.
I don't think you're gonna get any less busy. Haiti.
Yeah,
I'm
in 2
sorry.
weeks, week and a half.
Well, Ms. Paul, is there anything we can do to help you conduct that survey?
Don't worry about it.
That was a definite no. I don't think she trusts you.
Don't skew my numbers.
Kids and grandkids,
That's
they're getting older and.
And attending their functions.
Functions.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, okay,
that's all I gotta say.
well, let's see what happens.
Yes.
And we still got one thing that hasn't been answered on one of the questions, one of the things. Is Commissioner Sherry said something about the larger tax and you said something about wanting to put it on the agenda or something? On the.
Yes.
Ball. I
Yes.
heard you say it, but nobody responded to you, so I'm
Yeah.
just wondering.
On the 24th, I have. it on
Yeah,
the
we all,
24th.
or I shook my head.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put it on the agenda, ask, tell me.
Whether or not to vote to approve it.
Yes.
Are you looking for a dollar amount?
Do you wanna discuss the dollar amount now?
Yeah,
We can't make a decision.
no,
We wanna
but it's
discuss-
important, because
We still
I
have one more
heard
item
you,
to
I
talk
heard you
about.
say something.
We still have one more item to talk about too.
Oh, I thought that was the last one.
No, we have E,
Oh. no.
regarding the October 27th work session and meeting to reschedule it to the 24th,
To Monday, the 24th.
to Monday, the 24th. Is everybody in agreement with that?
At 5 and 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Is what it will
Okay,
be.
no problem.
Because she'll be gone to a meeting. So if everybody's in agreement with that, that's done. Okay, now, back to the lodger's tax. Well, I'd already put it on my calendar, I assumed it was.
So we agreed on the 24th and you'll have it on the agenda then the 24th.
Yes,
Is that all right?
yes.
But I'd like to have an amount so that we can actually.
Total amount is.
And
Let me get a coin out, we'll flip one.
And really, this is almost like a project that I recall going in the 80s, and that was the convention center. And we went in and did it with the executive part, the larger stacker that had become a very good profitable for the tourist industry. So I can see where the ball field could become something that is promoted properly, like for recreational as well as leagues.
Me too, and I think it's a good idea, don't get me wrong, I'm not against it, but I look at our recreation, our rec center, and,
But Madam Mayor, we have sat here and we talked about the fact that we wanted to see about a referendum and we were blown off. We never got the answer back. That was specifically agreed by the commission and never, nothing happened. This is what happened when people don't follow up the orders of the commission. And we have $800,000 in the executive session and we have to spend it within, according to Mr. Van Norton.
And that's not according to me, that's according to statute,
right.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, oh, I know that.
But I just, like I say, I wish we could put that much into our rec center, that's what I wish. Yes, Matt,
And I'm sorry to interrupt,
that's
but,
okay.
a lodger's tax, it can't go to a local rec center. That's not what lodger's tax is for. These people are coming in to play baseball, they're coming in 50 miles radius and more. And a rec center, it's been broke for, roof has been leaking 4 years.
Right.
And all of a sudden, just because the school came up with an idea of using
Oh,
lodger's
no,
tax.
it's not because the school came up with an idea. I'm
But,
worried about the rec center for.
but the
last
lodger's
3 or
tax
4 years.
cannot be used for a rec center, for a
Okay.
local rec center.
Yeah.
And it
But-
cannot be used for a swimming pool
We still have-
unless it's a swimming pool that would bring people from out of town, but not the current
Yeah.
swimming pool that we fixed.
No, I've worried about the rec center for the last 5 years. I mean,
Right, yes, ma'am.
We had asked for some studies, remember, the commission? And we asked, and the commission agreed, and nothing happened.
Okay,
But it hasn't been asked for me.
Well, we can ask you again today.
Okay, ask me.
We will.
Yeah, will you help us see what we can do for the rec center?
Madam Manager, do you have a recommendation on the funding? Not at all?
Now, as long as we put it on the agenda, we can come up with the amount.
We can, yeah.
Okay.
And it's not that I'm against the ballpark, because like I say, we asked them, I mean, they took it over. I'm
They
for
don't
the
do it.
school, don't get me wrong, but I just worry about our little leagues here that play basketball and volleyball and
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 I'm
little,
sorry, I
yeah.
just heard
Girl
that the
Scouts.
roof's been leaking for 4 years and needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
That's poor planning on our part.
it is, I agree. So, okay, all right, that's all. Anybody, anything else?
Madam, a question for Commissioner
Okay.
Cherry, does the Lodgers Tax Board have a recommendation for an amount that they saw fit
No,
when they
no,
heard
they
it?
didn't. They were, the consensus was they thought it was a good idea.
Okay.
All right, there's no vote or discussion or anything.
Just an additional thumbs up.
And I thought, I called it, negotiating like you do a used car. And I thought the manager should come up with that.
And in response to Matt's deal about it not going to the rec center, I said, you know what? Jerry gave me an idea. I could pitch it to Lodgers Tax about Little League, about the kids coming and having tournaments or stuff, basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments, softball, Little League tournaments. And I'm gonna tell you, parents and grandparents for Little League kids, they do follow their
And
kids.
volleyball kids?
They follow their kids. They do support them. They would be, if they had something like that and we had the facility.
I got one question.
Okay,
I've asked before about, is there some kind of grant, because that was an old armory, it's been there for.
We're looking, and actually, and through a joint effort, Daniel Zamora was trying to find some money that maybe could get donated to the school. Scott at the convention center has been making calls to see if he could find the chamber, yeah.
When you think it forward.
To see if he could find money to donate, that we could get donated to the school. I've been looking for other ways that we could try to help the school out. So it wasn't like we weren't all trying to pitch in
Like I
to see what we
say,
could do.
For my part, is I want to see good things for our children
Yeah.
and kids.
Yep.
So we're
I agree.
safe. It's like that armory. Who knows how bad that water leaks damaged. you know?
right. Well, I know it's damaged before, because
Yeah.
the elderly people used to go over there and walk,
Yes, ma'am.
and it's,
They're still walking.
The Girl Scout
But
room
yeah,
I hear is
but-
pretty bad.
yeah.
Yes, it is.
I got a question about that too.
What they-
Did they ever do anything to them that broke in and actually damaged?
I don't know.
Some of them got prosecuted and they had to make a donation to the Girl Scouts.
And that was it. Slap
Yeah,
in the hand.
not much of a donation.
Yeah.
But some of
I
them
buy
did
the
get.
cookies.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Then we're adjourned till 6 o'clock. Give you about 5 minutes.
Now they get you in the spring and the winter. And Girl Scout good is getting you all the time too.